This weekend, Ryan is squid riding, Andy's settling on the prairie, and we fight giant enemy crabs on the Game Boy. I'm Ryan.
I'm Andy.
And this is Weekend Rental, episode 235. All right, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. A little bit shorter turnaround this time by a couple days. We're trying to fit this in between schedules. So if we missed a few things that are more relevant. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to apologize for that because we're not on the podcast for that anyway at this point.
Yeah.
If anything happens between now and Tuesday, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Andy, how have you been?
Can't wait for like a giant natural disaster to happen, and our dumbass podcast is still going to release on Saturday.
Midwest eradicated.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's been good. Like you said, quick turnaround on this one, so not a lot to talk about, so it might be a little short, but
it's been a quiet news cycle too, at least in the gaming world, which is kind of nice. So
yeah, I think they blew their wad on the whole no digital or all digital, and I think Sony's hasn't recovered and has not been talking since. So
yeah, you do anything in between now and the last time we recorded?
Not a whole lot. Last weekend I had to do a lot of work at our lake lot, cleaning up some stuff, cutting down branches, which is always fun. I mean, getting the chainsaw out and just hacking up branches. And when you have like a wife and 4 other kids helping, I get to be the chainsaw guy that just cuts everything down, and everybody else gets to pick up all the sticks afterwards. So
see, how do I make that happen? Because I'm the guy who cuts all the shit down and still has to haul it all out. So something's got to give here. I'm getting gypped.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Nothing super exciting. I told my parents have been talking about like going back to Winnipeg or whatever. They haven't been there since I was a kid. So I was like, on the 4th, when we were at their place, I was like, well, we should pick a time to go do that. And my dad's like, how about 2 weeks? I'm like, sure, I guess. 2 weeks wasn't what I envisioned, but yes, 2 weeks works. I have nothing going on. So we went there over the weekend on Saturday. Just got up, and my wife and I and my parents went up to Winnipeg. It was fine. But like that was that weekend, like, well, all weekends where it was like damn near 90 degrees and humid, and basically everything we went up there to do was outdoors. So it was just kind of like sweating the entire time. But it was fine. And then we went to like the Assiniboine Park to like check that out. And I completely did not realize that it was like the Great North Comedy Festival, which is like a 3-day comedy outdoor event. And it was like big names too. Like the guy who does like the Dr. Phil thing, Big J. Okerson, who's the crowd work guy? I always forget his name. Younger kid. He was just in Fargo too. Doesn't matter. Anyway, super packed. Like that whole park is like basically a couple like one-way ins, like traffic only flows one direction. So we got stuck in that for like half an hour. It's kind of ridiculous. Probably the first time like crossing into Canada where the Canadian border crossing guard was kind of a dick. But also at the same time, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to be too mad. And then I was amazed on the way back in. So granted, I understand we're North Dakota. This isn't like the highest of priority for like border crossings. But U.S. Border Crossing and Customs had one lane open for cars, one lane open for trucks, and then they had closed all of the car lanes. So the one lane you had for cars was a semi lane, which meant that every car and pickup that pulled up had to drive up, park. You had to get out of your vehicle. You had to take your documents and literally hand them up to a 10-foot tall window, then stand out there. And I'm like, did we not just allocate millions or billions of dollars to this bullshit? And I got one guy making me like jump up and hand him documents. So it was, I bet we had, I'll say 10 cars in front of us when we hit the border. It took me 45 minutes to come back across, which is insane in North Dakota.
Yeah. I mean, even when you say North Dakota, but I mean, that is the one. I mean, that is the main entry
Yeah.
point in like hundreds and hundreds of miles, like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a big one. And logistically, as far as like commerce goes, that's the main
Yeah.
for most of the, middle of Canada, the empty bits, I guess,
Yep.
just like we
Yep.
are. But yeah. And then like, he's like reading off names of people, like reading my wife's name, my mom's name. And like people are just like sticking their hand out the window. I'm like, how secure is this? Like I could have anybody in here and you wouldn't know. You're not seeing any faces. You can't see faces.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. Not that I think we're smuggling fentanyl across the Canadian border, but it's just like if we're making if this is the hill that as a nation we decide we're going to die on, and that's the output. Come on, people. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about all the budget that they have.
Yes,
and then
that's the result.
That it's basically a self checkout.
Yeah. But no, it was a good trip other than the border. I mean, the border crossings are always stressful. Usually not up, more on the way in. I mean, he wasn't bad. He was just not. Usually they're so damn personable. Like the opposite of he was. I would say he was a U.S. He's the equivalent of a U.S. border guard, which isn't in itself bad, but it's not my usual experience. But yeah, Winnipeg was fun as always. We hit a brewery, went and did some shopping, and just enjoyed the parks and stuff. So not a bad weekend.
You told him knock that smoke shit off?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen, but I bet tariffs are going to go up in 2 days later.
Yeah. They don't listen, do they?
No.
It's on them for not listening.
Hey, never mind that half of the northern border of, well, not half, but thousands of acres of Minnesota are also on fire.
Yeah. That's
maybe
mostly what I get. Yeah.
Maybe in a natural disaster situation, we could work together and resolve things instead of just charging arbitrary tariffs, but I don't know. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. What is, just curious, what's, I guess, a liter of gas up there?
Oh boy, I didn't fill up. I'm sure it was slightly more because I always feel like it's a little bit more, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, when gas here is $4 a gallon, I'm just kind of like checked out.
Yeah.
I've been riding my e-bike to work as much as I possibly can because even just like 10 miles of commuting in an old vehicle is not worth the price anymore.
Yeah.
And now with this tariff thing, like I can't imagine what's going to happen to lumber and then aluminum prices in our area. Like I'm kind of tempted to like stockpile 2x4s and plywood now because it's going to be a lot. So,
I work almost. The place I work at is almost exclusively aluminum products.
Oh, good news for you. Yeah.
We just had our quarterly meeting, however, and surprisingly, like our profit, like everything's doing better, even above, like it's taking the hit. Everything's kind of good across the board on it, and it's kind of weird that just these prices rise and people are just like, okay, well, I'll pay it, and then that's got to come to an end at some point.
Yeah, I mean, when your raw goods double, I mean, you're gonna obviously have to increase prices again. I mean, it takes a while, but by next year, your next fiscal year, your prices are gonna have to readjust if things don't change. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like I was hearing like news about grocery prices and how like this year it's down like 5% overall, which you think, well, 5%, whatever, but like in a staple market, like people are choosing to spend 5% less overall. Like that's a significant decline.
Yeah.
Or like, the things that keep you alive. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw a thing talking about how many people are putting groceries on credit cards and then like not quite paying it off in full. And it's like, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah. That's not good. Ugh. It is definitely, you definitely feel it. Like I go to the grocery store and I can't get in and out for under like I always say, my Aldi runs are always like $70 and now it's 140. And I basically just buy produce there. So
yeah.
I don't know.
That brings up thinking about that. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when the last week or two, when you buy something on Amazon now, the emails that come out and say, it's tracking, oh, this is what you ordered and stuff. It just says generic category of whatever it is. So I wonder if that's like, so you can't use like bots or Google. They're trying to protect like pricing of certain products.
Oh,
So like
sure.
if your AI is looking through your email and stuff like that, you can't keep track of like what you're actually paying for and stuff in an automated way.
I did watch a really interesting video a couple days ago on YouTube into the study of like focus based or like individual based pricing for like web. Like this guy did it and like he checked Target, he checked Amazon, he was doing Uber. Basically, like he bought a dummy phone, like a one of those like Walmart smartphones that you just activate like per month, and created like a new human, essentially registered a business entity that was Frank Reynolds LLC, which I thought was hilarious if you're a Sunny in Philadelphia fan. So he had like a unique EIN number instead of a TIN number, and like started doing that, and like he paid a hired actor to like go around and like be as cheap as possible in the area he lived, which was Minneapolis. And they were showing the results, and like it was alarming. Like you'd buy the same bundle of Pampers from the same store in Minneapolis, and it was like a $5 swing. So it's like, I wonder if that Amazon change isn't part of some of that, like masking the fact that items are no longer one-to-one in the internet. You know what I mean? Yeah. They are tailored to what the algorithm thinks you will be willing to spend on it.
Yep.
Which is scary.
I've been specifically using an AI thing for that reason. For like, I've been taking pictures of receipts and stuff, so it'll keep track of like what you're paying for things, and if things go up, it'll notice that stuff. So like, Amazon says it's for your security. We're not giving all this data away, but it's really not.
Yeah, isn't that scary that like we're to that point where like AI is now figuring out how to price gouge you on an individual basis?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not good.
Technology, right? Hey, speaking of not good, I think we both watched a movie right before we jumped on. It was called Masters of the Universe. The new He-Man movie.
Yeah. That it's streaming already. I mean, it's like feel like it just got out of theater pretty much.
Right at the beginning of summer it came in, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you liked it maybe more than I did.
Yeah, I think so. It's not gonna blow anybody's mind. It's not a good movie. It's not anything like that. Even the campy Marvel stuff is way better than this.
Yeah.
But they were trying to shoot for something kind of Guardians of the Galaxy, sort of. I don't, it's got some comedy in it, which
it's also forced though.
Yeah. It's weird because you think about like you're in that world and all that, Eternia or whatever. None of those jokes even make sense, right? But
right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I think my biggest complaint with it was like, not every movie needs to be 2.5 hours. This one decided it was going to be. And then it was an hour before he even becomes He-Man. The first 40 minutes are him on Earth, which part of He-Man was him being like swept? Like, that's a Superman story, except he returns home. Like, I don't know. And then, there's a lot of dumb shit about He-Man and 80s cartoons, but then like, it's funny to us, but then like they just throughout the movie continue to make fun of like Ram Man and Fisto. Just like, Fisto, you fist people. And it's like, that was funny like once, but they do it 4 times with both of those characters. I don't know.
And then at the very end, they make fun of, him being named He-Man, or he named himself He-Man.
Right.
Which, that's the joke. If you want to make the joke, do that then.
Right.
You can't just make fun of the names the entire movie and then get to that and the main one and be like, oh, well, doesn't carry much weight.
It also felt a little insensitive that they're overlooking the fact that this like 10-year-old kid got shuttled to another alien planet on his own and had to live for 15 years. Like maybe there's some like deep trauma there. So if he calls himself He-Man, just cut him some slack. I don't know.
They really don't go over like how did he how did he become an adult there? You know,
right.
like
I assume he ended up in some sort of like foster situation and went to school, but yeah. He worked like they don't even explain his job, marketing or something, I would assume, in some sort of I don't know. It tries so much and it barely stumbles through all of it, I feel like. And that fucking sequence at the end where he's fighting Skeletor, he's like, "Oh, is that all you got?" He's like, "No, I was holding back," followed by like 20 exaggerated slow-mo punches that just what was that? Who decided that needed to be in the film?
There's definitely an aspect of like what I would describe as the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Animations. There's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
The fighting, the choreography, the action is not too bad in the actual brawls, I will say.
Sure.
I like the music that goes along with it to some extent. And then but the thing that's weird is like something will happen that's important. And everybody else around stops what they were doing, or we're just not even focusing. We don't even know anymore. And that takes place. So then it's like, well, these other two people were just fighting right next to you, but now they're just not doing it. They're just watching you. What's going on here? You know?
I just got to touch on the music because you said you enjoyed the music.
Some of it, not the
let me ask you something. If He-Man can't figure out the words he needs to say to his sword to gain his power, and he's in the back of a cop car, and then a guy pulls up in a Corvette and it's playing like, "I have the power," and then like all of a sudden 30 seconds later it shifts to Four Non-Blondes. Like, what's going on? There's a bunch of people running away. Yeah. Don't you find that a little like on the nose?
Oh yeah, that totally. I mean, that was
it was
and
painful.
That's the problem. That's also the problem with it too, is because you have to know all that stuff too, right?
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean,
that's true.
Who's like watching this, who is not.
Yeah.
I mean, the meme thing, like the Three Non-Blondes thing, like I think most people maybe know that.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, I didn't think about that.
But like, I have the power thing. That's not. Most people don't know what that is unless you know what the show is about. Maybe that's
I think the parts you're right with the soundtrack where it was just like more orchestrated, like 80s sort of like metal butt rock in the background that like really fit. It was good.
Yeah.
But yeah. The license stuff was just like, you're trying a little too hard with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then, you know, for Dolph Lundgren to just show up in the middle of it too, that's also like
Did I miss Dolph Lundgren? Where was he?
In the gym. He was the guy that he was talking about in the gym.
Missed it.
Yeah, that was Dolph Lundgren, who, you know, obviously was the first He-Man in the first movie. So,
yeah. I don't know. I will say you're right in that it's not bad. It's also exactly what you expect and something I will never watch again, is how we would leave that, probably.
Yeah. The tone is all over the place because there's certainly parts where they're trying to take it as a serious science fiction type barbarian type thing, and
yeah,
it doesn't fit. I mean,
and they try to sprinkle in some Star Wars for whatever reason,
and having Skeletor be like really evil in a lot of times, and then just flip a switch and be like funny and try and do weird things with it. Yeah, that doesn't work that well. Plus, it's Jared Leto, so
they missed their opportunity and should have just had Danhausen play Skeletor.
Yeah,
and just like face painted him. Yeah, like he could have pulled it off. Would have been great.
One thing that really bothered me with that movie, I couldn't figure it out. So the red eyes, the glowing red eyes of Skeletor, constantly had like a lens flare coming off of him, and I'm trying to figure out, like, they had to have do that the red eyes in post production.
I would assume.
So it's not an actual lens thing. So
But it kind of led to him being like cockeyed and cross-eyed almost in some scenes, which was weird.
Yeah.
It's like you're this powerful and evil, but you can't keep your pupils straight. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is for sure never getting other. There's going to be no She-Ra or sequel to this in any way I can imagine.
Right. They're trying to set it up, but
not going to happen.
And I think it's kind of shitty that they just couldn't figure out a way to put Orko in it, so they're just like,
oh, they threw him in at the end. He narrated it, just like he always does, right?
Yeah.
Did he narrate each episode though, or was it just like the PSA things? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Did the cat always talk?
You're talking to a guy who is maybe a little too young for He-Man. Like,
and I was like 3 years off.
Toys more than the cartoon. So
I missed it by like 2-3 years. Also, I mean, I clearly saw it, but I was never like enamored enough to like get the action figures. And
it's a bad cartoon. Really,
it is. I mean, all the 80s are. I mean, historically, it's the first cartoon that was ever created specifically to sell merchandise. Like, it is not even a cartoon; it is a advertisement. So
yeah, the fact that they were here with talking about it in a movie sense now, it's
right.
It's amazing that it happened, but also it's not surprising that it's kind of failed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Curious Tales from the Crypt. Have you been watching the old series again?
Yeah. So for the longest time, like, you can't find it anywhere online. Like, it's from what I understand, it's locked up in like a weird licensing because it was a really old comic book, right? Or whatever, graphic, whatever back then in the day. And then HBO produced this version of it, and the rights are just constantly like, they don't even know really who owns it or something. So it's not even like on HBO Max. It's never on anything for forever. And then I noticed it's just sitting there on Tubi.
Really?
All 7 seasons are just sitting there on Tubi right now. And it blew my mind. So of course I've been kind of binge watching a lot of those. And yeah, if you're not familiar with that old series, it's really good. I mean, the fact that the every episode is kind of like a Twilight Zone type thing, but more of a monkey's paw in a lot of ways,
with way better production values.
Yes. And like every episode has like some big, I wouldn't say like top class actor of the 90s, but it's always like a supporting cast or, like a big name character actor that you've seen in everything. They have a lot of good people rolling through and doing things like that. And the stories are good. And the Crypt Keeper himself is usually, I mean, it's just hamming it up for just good puns, right?
Dude, that guy gave me nightmares when I was a kid, and you'd see him on, like, when you go to a hotel and there was HBO and you'd scroll through and just chills. I vividly remember nightmares, not even having watched episodes of like that guy killing me.
So. Yeah, I specifically have a memory of that, seeing that, and my parents were laughing, and I was really confused because it was like, this guy looks, this is really scary, and my parents are just like having a ball laughing watching this.
It's like Eddie's Iron Maiden or Iron Maiden's Eddie, but it's like actually living. It's terrifying. Yeah. But, so have you seen some good ones, like some you remembered, or all kind of new?
A few of them, yeah. The one today I watched was it was actually directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, so really?
It's kind of funny.
Did anyone yell "Get to the choppa"?
No.
Oh, it's too bad.
That one was about a guy who keeps changing his body to get young. He's like an old man, and he keeps changing his body in like a Frankenstein-ish type of way to satisfy this woman so she'll marry him. And he has to switch bodies with this other guy who's the younger guy, obviously. And then he finally switches everything over, gives this other guy all his fortune to have his body. And then, of course, the monkey paw thing of where now the girl goes to the rich guy because he has money, right?
Sure. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I didn't realize it was on there because I was a big fan of that show. But like you said, it's always been hard to track down. Like they're hard to find physically. So
Yeah, I don't even know if they
there were like
made
some
DVDs of them
movies,
for.
right? Like there was like an actual like
Yeah.
theater movie.
Yeah.
Nice. I've been going through and rewatching Jackass from the beginning because that's now streaming on Paramount for the most part because the movie, but not as exciting as yours. It's just interesting to see how much of like if you were a skateboard kid back in the day and like knew of CKY before Jackass was the thing, like how much actual CKY is in the first season of Jackass.
There's a lot of skating stuff even in that first season, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the CKY like bits from CKY and CKY 2, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I what is the actual history of that? Was it directly them that turned that into? They pitched CKY basically as a show then?
Yeah, I think Big Brother went to do the pitch, and then also like before they went in, were like reached out to BAM and were like, "Hey, can we take your footage?" And then they blended it. So I don't think like the CKY crew was in on the pitch, but like they made the thing happen. So it was like a 50-50 deal, which kind of gets overshadowed a little bit. But I mean, all of it is aged poorly, regardless of like which camp. Like some of it's still funny, but a lot of it's just like, what the hell? Like, why did, especially in like a YouTube internet world now, it's like, this is like shit influencers can't do anymore. And like, you guys got this on like primetime television and then made 4 movies. You know what I mean? It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you think any of it's like taken out, like where Paramount's like, no, we absolutely cannot show that anymore?
There historically are like 3 or 4 episodes that like just never made it to air. Because probably more even. I don't know. But the stuff that's in there is funny to watch. Like you forget that some of that was even in the original run. And like I grew up in a small town, so we didn't even have like MTV on our cable access. So unless you had DirecTV, which was absurd back in the day, like the only way we watched it was like I had a friend who had a recordable VHS tape and he would give it to a college friend in Fargo. He would record it and like we'd get it back every week and like watch it. So like I haven't seen a lot of the run, but it's fun to go back and check it out.
Yeah. Well, and it's a whole different thing now, knowing how much drugs and just other stuff was going on.
Thing too, exactly. But. And how everybody like shook out, and
yeah.
It still kills me that like Brandon DiCamillo, like just he was like the funniest dude in CKY and in parts of Jackass, and then like just pieced out when it came to the movie thing. He's just like, nah. Like make somebody else millions of dollars. No, I'm just not going to be famous anymore.
Yep.
Even like Viva La Bam, he was always like hilarious in that.
Yeah.
Which I did watch. You ever watched Haggard or like Minghags, like Bam Margera's like feature films? Okay. So I'll challenge you before we record next to watch. You can find it on YouTube. We'll watch Haggard. That's Bam's first like feature length film. He uses an entire hymn album as the soundtrack.
Of course.
And it is just a awful cringe fest of a movie. But it still was like profitable somehow because he had enough like grassroots support and like sold in skate shops and stuff. It's basically like Ryan Dunn gets dumped, then becomes a psychopath, and then they smear poop on garages and all sorts of weird stuff happens. It's pretty bad. Huh. I don't recommend it, but I recommend torturing yourself with it once. So I think I watched that about a month ago and I was just like, boy, different times.
Yeah. Well, and then like Viva La Bam now, thinking, you watch that as a teenager and thinking like, oh yeah, what a crazy wild guy. And now you look at it as the parents and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Bunch of 22-year-olds with like zero shits to give, acting like they're just dumbasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a great show for what it was, but yeah, pretty cringy.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the Nintendo thing lately. Where we talked about tariffs earlier. But did you see that response? It's been kind of getting some hate online with Nintendo and I guess there was like a lawsuit brought against them. because people are claiming that, like, well, you sold us consoles, peripherals, and games at an inflated price because of tariffs. Like, those were deemed unlawful. So you should be refunding people. Which, okay, every business in the US did this. Most of those, I would imagine, are not going to refund people directly. Like, maybe major retailers are going to get some cut from some of these places. I, as like a person who imported stuff, don't expect to get a check from DHL. They're going to give zero shits about what I paid them. You know what I mean? But Nintendo kind of came out in a statement. They probably just should have been quiet, but they're like, and there's really even nothing wrong with their response, but they basically just said, like, hey, we made an offer and put out a product at a reasonable price. People bought it and got what they received for the price that we listed it for. We don't owe anyone a refund, which went over about as well as you could expect in the internet. And I don't disagree with their logic. And I also don't disagree with some of the outrage. I think, like, maybe just not putting on a statement was the right thing to do.
I feel like that's their corporate motto in the first place on a lot of stuff. Right?
Yeah,
even they have become not, but
they have become very anti-consumer in the last 8 years. That is for sure. It's like they regained dominance and forgot how close they came to. Well, that's not even true because the 3DS carried them through. But I don't know. It's kind of funny, like, that people are so mad about it because it's just like, whatever. Like, maybe you would have gotten the console at $50 less, but they still would have been losing money on it anyway. And they probably lose money on it now. So,
yeah. Well, that's, I mean, all of them are being a little kind of cocky that way too, you know, just talking down to consumers, even like, well, as Steam stuff, you know, where they're basically like, we're losing money now right now on it. Or, you know, it's like, well, maybe, but still it's like,
right.
Why are it's prohibitively expensive for what you're charging for this thing.
I just think it's hilarious that the people like band together and be like, no, we're going to get our $50 check back in 2 years from Nintendo. And that's going to, like, everything's going to be better. It's like, have you, like, watched the market? Like, everybody's going up. Like, this is, even if you get a short-term win, you're still literally paying more for your Switch as of September in August or in the US. So I don't know.
I'll leave that as soon as all those COVID loans get paid back too. That's when I'll start.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious. So much fuss over something that was never going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
But speaking of Nintendo news, Splatoon Raiders came out. I kind of had my eye on this one because I've enjoyed Splatoon for the little I've dabbled into it, but I'm not a big, like, online only, like, forced person. I didn't like that whole aspect of it. Kind of just played on my console or did, like, the training tutorial things. So to me, this was appealing. Also, the price is good, right? 50 digital, 60 physical. And then while I was there, I of course bought Rhythm Heaven Groove or whatever it is. Because obviously, if the Wii version's selling for like $200, this one's going to be exponentially more expensive in the future. So that was just an investment. I don't know if I'll play it. But I think I've probably got like 8 to 10 hours. I don't know exactly into Splatoon Raiders so far. I think I maybe have like one more raid to do and then I'm at the final boss. So not a long game, but it's interesting to me how, like, the review scores on this one, and I guess maybe review scores in general are kind of inconsistent these days, but like, it seems like people are like, it's a 6 or it's a 10 or a 9 or, and I don't know about that. Like, I'm not going to throw a score on it, but I will say I have found it strangely addictive since I bought it. I still have gripes with how Splatoon controls and relies on motion controls for aiming. I don't think that's something that has to be forced on people. Like, I would prefer not to, but I will say that the gameplay loop has, like, just kept me coming back. You don't have to play with other people. You obviously can. It's kind of, I guess the best way to describe it to me is like an action platformer that is like roguelite. Like, you know, you don't necessarily retain stuff per run and start back over, but you're like going out, earning new equipment, getting unlocks, getting things that'll help you like progress and then level up. And most of the outings are very short. I mean, some things take literally a minute, some take 15 if you're going to ride them out. So it's really good pick up and play mechanics, and you're always like kind of back and forth between the base. Visuals look great, controls are great, it runs super good. Playing it undocked on the Switch, battery life is excellent. I don't know what they did to optimize it, but I'm getting like probably 3.5 hours out of my Switch too. The story I could give a shit less about. As soon as you introduce a bunch of people that are going, I'm skipping all of it. I don't care. I don't care what the story is. In fact, I think I actively hate the Manta Ray character. I just hate his design. Everything he says is in fucking brackets. Like, why? Why is he saying it? Is he not? Am I imagining that he's talking? I don't understand.
He doesn't.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. I skip it all. But it's got a really good loop. It's a solid action adventure game. Like, it feels like something that you would have played on the PlayStation era from like a B tier. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like it's the type of game we don't get anymore. And I really like it. The only real complaint I have, well, I have two. One, there's like some I would say there are like almost like dungeons in the way that like they Zelda-fied like shrines. There's some sections of that. And there's a loop in that cut of music that I swear to God they pulled straight from Baby Shark. And every time it comes up, I'm humming Baby Shark to myself, which pisses me off. Maybe unintentional theft, I'm not sure. But the other thing is like it's a game that, you know, they really try to shoehorn in the online. So if you're not willing to like go back, replay levels and like do like the slow grind to like overpower yourself, you'll kind of naturally come up against these like thresholds where you're like just not powerful enough. But if you want to progress the campaign and see new levels, you have to go online and ask for help, which you do and bring in 2 other people, which is fine. Cool. Works great. Super quick matchmaking. But then they only let you do that once, and then you have to wait 30 minutes before you can do it again. Which doesn't make any sense to me, other than maybe they're thinking that they don't want people to like take advantage of it, and then they want you to also contribute as a helper in the time that you can't help, which I think is what they're pushing you for. But it feels like a bad way to like maybe add length to the game, or just like poor design thought. Because if you don't have a bunch of friends online, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I suppose you would just burn through progression so fast if you were able to just max out on people helping you, right? Or whatever.
Right. And like they encourage you constantly in the chat, from what I've seen, to like go back and replay levels and try different weapon sets. And it's like, well, yeah, you're forcing me to grind, or you could just let me use the feature you built in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I very much enjoy it. I'm almost done with it. But I think it's like, if I had to be honest, I'd probably say Donkey Kong Bonanza, Splatoon Raiders are your reasons to buy a Switch 2. I mean, it feels fun and unique and different, and it feels like what I wanted out of Splatoon instead of being forced into like a PvP game, which is not what I wanted. So,
yeah. Well, and that's exactly, I think, what Splatoon needed, though, too. Because, I mean, I really enjoyed the first one. I mean, I played a lot online because it really was a unique thing, right? Area control. I mean, the way they did area control maps was pretty crazy how they did it. And then, you know, I was really surprised, excited about 2. And then it was like, oh, this is just more maps. It's Splatoon.
When it could have been like an online living thing, right? Yeah.
It really degraded fast. So having something new like this seemed really interesting. And I watched some of it, but I couldn't really figure out the gameplay. And the pessimistic side of me is just like they're just chasing after like the extraction shooter genre. But it's not. Is it that or not really?
Not really. I mean, that comes into play a little bit when you're helping, right? Like if you jump into an online match as a helper, you only get rewards if you win. But like if you're going in solo, which is how I played in 80% of the game, even if you fail, you're still coming out with your rewards and your
Okay.
XP. So yeah,
Okay.
I would say it almost feels more like a like a Left 4 Dead or like a World War Z, where it's kind of like you're going into a hell situation and your goal is to survive for the most part. There's some variations in this stuff, but that is kind of the gist of it. And then you're picking up weapons and upgrades, and there's like badges that you can attach to things, like 3 different tank options, which have different badges, and you're unlocking tech. It is almost like it's roguelite is not the word, but like that is the closest thing I can say. With sort of a like horde based shooter is how it kind of works out. And then like the the like library dungeon sections that you run into are almost like they feel like I said, they feel like shrines, but teaching you how to use the various like attachments for your different tanks. It's like a tutorial with rewards almost is kind of how it works. So and those work to varying degrees. I find about half of them needlessly grating, but I think it's I think it's absolutely worth the money. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 game, but I think it's a very fun game and one that has surprisingly hooked me very deeply. And I'm kind of sad that it's this short and pretty much going to be over. I don't know what the level cap is. I'm at mid 30s. I can't imagine it goes much past 50. Maybe 50 is like really grinding it out to unlock extra stuff. So, and most of the levels I'm reaching at end game recommend level 38. So it is what it is.
Huh. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that the release date kind of snuck up on me. I was not expecting that to be out. I was thinking that was a fall game or something like that. But
yeah, no, it's a good one. If you've got a Switch 2, don't sleep on it because I like it a lot. So.
Yeah, I got to pick it up for sure.
Yeah, and then next week we're getting Halo Campaign Reimagined, which you watched reviews. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So reviews on that are kind of like what I expected. Everyone's kind of like, yeah, it's a solid game. It's a great game with visual overhaul, but we live in a world where you can still just play the original. You can play 10th anniversary, or you can play Master Chief Collection. So did we need this? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like it's a good game because it was a good game and it holds up fairly well. So I don't know how sales will be, right?
Yeah. Or even I didn't watch any of the TV show, but is it just telling
don't
Halo
watch that
2 or no?
No, don't watch that. Don't watch that at all.
No, but is it just telling Halo?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's pretty fucked up and terrible in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Yep, don't do it. It will ruin Halo for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I think they got to like Halo 5 and whatever, and then the people were just complaining about how off the rails it kind of got. And you know, you get too far away from John and it's like, well, I don't know. There's got to be middle ground that's good. Instead of
and then they got to
the same thing.
They got to Infinite and like promised that co-op, which is a staple, and then like couldn't deliver on it. So now they're coming back with this one, like, well, we're doing 4-player co-op, but there's no multiplayer. It's like, well, maybe you should just do the thing that it did. Mm-hmm. Granted, you want multiplayer, you can go to Master Chief Collection, but still, that's a 10-year-old game at this point too. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna play it. I'm a little sad because I know I'm gonna have to spend like $70 to buy it for my kid on his PlayStation 5 so we can play together. But I'm up for Halo feeling like Halo again. It's just kind of sad that they haven't been able to pull it off. I mean, they've killed the franchise, to be quite honest, right? And I think this is a test, right? This is let's get into this new engine, redesign everything, and see how it goes, and we can build a new game. But how much steam does Xbox and Halo Studios having it to even get to a new game. Like, will it even happen? So.
Well, maybe they'll get Bungie back. At this point,
anything could happen at this point,
yeah.
Right? I feel like Sony's just waiting to shut them down.
Yeah. At this point, the most Halo I played in the last 5 years has all been the cursed Halo at MGC. So,
yeah, I think I'm with
that's
you.
Halo to me at this point.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go, obviously, because I have Game Pass, but I'm going in with very like tempered expectations. Plus, this is a game that I played. I couldn't tell you how many times I beat the campaign of Halo. I mean, dozens, right? So,
yeah,
I know there's a little bit of new stuff, but probably not going to do anything like blow me away. But as long as it feels like Halo and it looks like a modern game, I'm probably going to be okay with it. So,
yeah, and it co-op's short enough too, where it's yeah. I'll probably play with my kid, through it too, because he's never played through it. So,
yeah, I got to get my kid back in, like pick up where we left off. I think we left at ODST. It was like, we got to get to 4 because 4 is the one I've never beat, and then we never made it there. So, and then 5, I think I don't even know if I've opened the shrink wrap on 5. I bought like some collector's edition because it was like $12 at some point, but I've heard not good. So.
Yeah.
What is LHOTP?
Oh, a super fan would know this. I mean, us super fans of this, it just got rebooted, and everybody just calls it LHOTP.
I'm super confused. And I feel like earlier in the day today, when I was driving down the street with my daughter, there was a Kia with a custom license plate that said Ubuntu. And then I was telling my daughter what a dork that person was for having it on the license plate. And then she looked at me and said, just like, because you understand that doesn't also make you a dork. And then I felt really bad about myself. So explain to me what LHOTP is.
This is Little House on the Prairie.
No, you were not watching this shit, are you? Why?
No, my daughter is. So I've been catching little bits of it as I'm going upstairs and getting a soda or whatever. And I don't know why they did this. Why did they keep doing this stuff? I don't know.
It's rebooted?
Yeah.
Did they bring Michael Landis back from the dead?
Yeah.
Is he that, like, what was that show he had after that where he was like an angel? Is he like, is he
Highway to Heaven or whatever?
There you go. Yes.
Which is funny because that's what my parents have been watching lately, is that show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's like there's nothing that they won't just redo right at this point, right?
Is it because like the whole like Yellowstone thing is so big that West is back now? Okay.
I think so. And it is very like, it's like so serious, like character dramas and like romance triangles and stuff like this. And all that stuff.
Not what that show was.
Not what the show is at all.
No. It was a faith-centric family sitcom for the most part, set in the Old West. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. Who's making this then?
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix show.
Oh, okay. Great.
I imagine it's probably going to go over well. Because that's the type of things that there's a million different of those type of shows that my wife watches. I couldn't name them all, and they all have like 8 seasons, and it's like I've never heard of this show. But
out of all the properties to bring back, that was not on my radar for 2026. Well, at least like I guess that show always had like a big supporting cast, so I guess like in today's landscape, you can do like a million different story arcs, but.
Yeah, but it doesn't, I haven't watched a lot of it, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's very focused on like a few central people and their problems. And it is very much like a soap opera type thing, right?
Wow.
And it's completely different than what the original is. And even our generation, it was like reruns, that's what I know it from. And it was like stuff that you would like, haha, that's on. Like, I'm aware of it, right?
Yeah, like your parents would explain it to you, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm going to change it as soon as something else is available.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and especially when you live around here, you can drive like 50 miles anyway. And it's like
Yeah,
the
we can
childhood home of
pretend,
Laura Ingalls Wilde, or, you know,
right?
and it's like,
I can set you down in a pasture and you can pretend this is the Little House on the Prairie. You
yeah.
pick some wild onions and eat them. So did they keep the theme song at least?
I haven't heard the beginning. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm curious. It was like such an iconic one.
Yeah.
That's wild. I can't believe they did that.
Yeah. I mean, I think our last episode, I was talking about how I think our generation is dead, specifically for like the He-Man shit where it's bombing and nobody is rebooting that stuff anymore. And then I'm proven wrong by things getting rebooted from the previous generation before us.
Yeah, boomer shit hitting streaming. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I probably will never check that out. I'm shocked that that's a thing. And that your daughter, how old is she now?
She's 10, I think.
And this is what she's watching.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's better than Blue's Clues, I guess. But wow.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But yeah, I tried, but I think she's gonna end up like her mother watching all of those shows. So
you only do so much, right?
Yeah.
Well, are we on to staff picks?
Yeah.
You might as well go with yours because yours is like actually related to the podcast. So.
Yeah. This is Densha Attack. I think that's how you say it.
Yep.
It's a Game Pass game that came out where you are controlling a train car
loosely.
Yeah, in a Tony Hawk ish way. You're doing tricks and different things. It kind of feels kind of auto runner-ish, like a Temple Run or a Subway Surfers type thing too.
Yep.
But in a more extreme way. And kind of with a coat of maybe Jet Grind Radio on top of it.
Yeah, that's cell shaded aesthetic for sure.
Yeah. So they're combining quite a bit of different things. And I played probably the first 10 levels or so. And by then it's starting to stack on a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And my old man brain cannot handle it anymore. It's kind of turning into Bop It the game, the video game a little bit, because
yeah.
A lot of different things, combinations of what you need to do it when you see certain things coming at you fast, right? But it's an interesting concept, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if you checked it out or
I played like the Switch preview, like demo thing when they first dropped it, and that was enough for me to be like, I get it, but I'm not here for this, so I just didn't really go beyond that. So I think I got like a tutorial level or two, but I get what they're going for. I just it didn't hook me, right?
Yeah, I think that's where I really like the beginning. I really like how it's progressing, but I think once it gets to the point where it's throwing all of it together and you got to do it,
yeah,
I think I'm gonna fall apart and maybe not keep going with it because
I think if they had leaned if they'd leaned a little more too into the fun instead of more of the like stress, but it's very quickly the stress, you know what I mean? It's like don't fuck up. That's the core mechanic.
Yep.
It's cool though. I mean, I feel bad for any passenger in that train car, but
when you're and it's got like the trick system is kind of like a skate, where you have the stick system. So that's interesting. But when you're doing all the other things on top of that really, my brain can't do it.
That was the problem I ran into too. Like when you're in a panic scenario and you need to do like the down slide, and it's just like, this should be twitch reflexes, not like I have to think about what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know that I would sink more time into it, but I thought it was neat. I didn't realize it hit Game Pass though, so maybe I'll have to give it a little more time now that it's fully out. Yeah,
I'll play. I'll definitely play it to the point where I'm too frustrated with it, but because I think it's the style and the gameplay of it. It's fun enough.
Yeah. The aesthetic is great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. My staff pick, I couldn't come up with anything, so I just put Rocky's, which is like this new restaurant. Well, newer restaurant in Fargo. It's like Rocky's Burgers and Fries. So this is only going to be applicable to people living in the Midwest in North Dakota, because I guess there's one here and one in Minot. But they specialize in like house cut fries and like smash burgers. And we just went there this week. I've been there a couple times, and it's very good in the sense that they're like actually making you a fresh hamburger patty to order on like a custom bun, and still costs you what McDonald's is charging you for a combo meal, which is insane. So, if you like smash burgers and shakes and fresh cut fries, then find yourself in Fargo. Maybe give it a shot.
So that's it's like a sit down then. Kind of.
Yeah, there's drive through and then sit down. So like you place the order, they bring it to your table. It like their service reminds me of like Culver's, like where you get the table marker and but like, it's actually in the same parking lot as Culver's. Culver's is like 150 yards away. So for the same price, if you want to have a much better burger, just go to Rocky's. So
maybe less old people.
Not necessarily. There were still quite a few, but yes, not you are correct. The clientele is skewing towards the geriatric at Culver's, which is kind of funny.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all eating like fish sandwiches and like fish and chips.
Yeah.
The last time we went to Culver's, so they have the QR code thing now at the table, so you can order instead of just like, well, we always order the food and then we'll order ice cream with the QR code. And I ordered a shake, and then my wife ordered one of the mixers, which is like their version of a Blizzard. And the kid brings it over, he's like, "Here you go," and drops it off. No straws, no spoons, which you can't just like self-serve. You have to go back up to the counter and get them. I'm like, dude, I get that you're like 16, but like you have one job.
Yeah.
Come on.
How were you supposed to do this? Huh.
Yeah. I took my daughter there specifically because she was asking for a Wendy's. What are their things again?
Frosties?
Frosties, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you sure you want to go to Wendy's? Like, they're all really crappy in town and like not good." I was like, "Why don't we go to this place that also has shakes?" Thinking like I'm avoiding Wendy's. But, oh no, she gets her meal and was like, "I still want to go to Wendy's for the Frosty instead of a shake here." I'm like, really? We drive all the way across town to a Wendy's and we watch somebody come in from the drive-thru that had gotten the wrong order. The lady literally took it in back, pulled everything out of that bag, repacked it into a new bag, and then walked it out to the drive-thru line to hand it to somebody else. That's Wendy's.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty great.
Yeah, they're kind of all shut down around me. How many are left up there?
We got 2 in the service.
Okay.
Like I haven't been there. Like I don't go there ever. I guess Frosty's occasionally, but like I think they're part of that conglomerate, right? That it's like Wendy's, Arby's, and B-Dubs, which is like all of those are tanking pretty hard. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Burger King is kind of in the shitter, and Pizza Hut, I think, got sold. They're like part of a different company now.
The sale on that, the price was insane, like 40 some million or billion or like outrageous number. So not billion. Billion would be stupid.
Yeah,
it's a tough market weird. When like the margins on fast food were already slim and now you're having to charge. Like, let's be honest, you can't get a combo at a fast food place. Like if you order strictly the combo, you're paying $13 or more. Like for food that's subpar, like at best or average, is not worth it. Like people aren't going to be paying that anymore. So
no, when you can go to Applebee's for the same thing and have the same shitty amount of food, but feel better.
Right. You at least get waited on, right? Yeah. It's all microwave meals anyway.
Yep.
But went down a rabbit hole on that one. That's good. We haven't had a good rabbit hole in a while.
If you're having a good time with us at Weekend Rental, I think you might enjoy all the great geeky stuff found on the Geekade Podcast Network. They've got podcasts about games, music, movies, and more. Plus, if you order off their secret menu, also known as the Geekade Patreon, you just might find an exclusive movie podcast hosted by Ryan and myself. Check it out over at geekade.com. And hey, if you'd like to turn Weekend Rental into a true multimedia experience, our YouTube and Twitch channels might just be for you.
Let's get on to the Weekend Rental. So the Weekend Rental, of course, we pick a game for a given system, and we'll play through it, give our opinions as to whether we would buy, rent, or burn that game. We are talking about Game Boy, the OG Game Boy this go around, and a little game called Fortified Zone, which I don't know that it was ever on my radar. It just happened to hit Switch Online, and kind of a hidden gem, maybe. I hate to use that phrase because it gets thrown on a lot, but this is a cool game.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you saw Jalico too, where you're just like, oh,
right.
No.
Temper expectations.
Just another one of those on the Nintendo Switch Online. Here we go.
Yep.
And talk about a different, I mean, this game was definitely more my speed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it
and for the speed of the hardware.
Balance for a lot of the stuff too.
Yes. Yeah, it has large sprites, which not something you see a lot on Game Boy. Definitely going for like a Metal Gear, Akari Warriors aesthetic. But it plays so well to the hardware that it's on. You know what I mean? The gameplay is not super fast. Your character's big, but his hitbox like kind of starts around his abs and ends at his feet. So you don't take unwanted hits.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was just shocked by the fact that I'd never heard of this one because it really nails the hardware. Like perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean it's a screen by screen room thing where you're going to different things, and some of them are mazes, some of them are battle arenas, and it mixes that up enough where it's interesting too, where there's more. I mean, it's not platforming, but it's kind of some variant of gameplay between the different rooms that you're doing, and the controls are really tight for the most part. The shooting feels really good. I mean, obviously there's like one of those things where the number of bullets you can have on screen is variable depending on how many things
that
are
boss
on screen.
Fight, right?
Yeah.
Every boss fight, you're like every fourth shot populates on screen, maybe.
Yep. So there's some of that, but at the same time, it feels really good because for the most part, if you're on the ball, you can like lead guys, lead your shots onto everything, and that feels so good because it's a lot of these games, the controls suck so much where it's like you're just taking shot for shot. Yep. You're just taking the damage. This does not feel like that at all. If you're moving around right.
And you can there's always that like bullshit mechanic with a game like this where like you cross into the next room and you spawn into a bad situation. 90% of the time in this game, you're able to assess quickly, back out, and then adjust your entry. And there are certain rooms, like you said, where you're like locked into a cage, but that's not the norm. There's also a map because the levels are big. I would argue that you probably don't need the map because miraculously on a Game Boy game, even though the graphics are simple and the borders are the same, there's enough dimension in the level design and screen by screen design that you can kind of like form the map and path in your head. So it doesn't really become an issue. I think my biggest complaint with it is just that like it starts with like its worst foot forward. Like it's just the very like basic, like I'm a commando dude fighting other commando dudes. The music is like hyper short, shitty, and on a loop, and it sucks. And that continues into the second stage, but then you get to the third stage, and when you're thinking like, okay, like I could keep playing, but I've seen it all. Then guess what? Banging soundtrack. Soundtrack gets great. They introduce like robots and aliens. And they introduce like devices on screen that like invert your controls if you go into a room. You have to like suss out how to get over to them and take them out. And then I don't know, like it's short, right? Like 4 levels total. Um, level 3 and 4 introduce what I would call some bullshit to pad out the game. You know, like black rooms where you have to hit an object and there's endless pits of death, which they animate spectacularly well, by the way, over multiple screens. But for what they were doing and knowing that it was like a 40-minute runtime game, if it's your first playthrough, for the handheld platform that it's on, like, kind of nailed it, really. Mm-hmm. Did you play as the female character at all?
No, I didn't. I just played as the guy. So I don't know if there's any difference in between them or not. I mean, obviously the weapons kind of change, right? So, but I don't know if like the main weapon changed between them.
So is that the difference on the select screen? Is like 1-player game versus 2-player game? Is like 2-player the other character?
Maybe. Or yeah, I wonder how the 2-player game works in this.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like it at every turn, like it kind of got me in thinking like this is generic but enjoyable, to turning a corner on like this is pretty damn innovative in a lot of interesting ways for the Game Boy from Jalico, for all companies.
And a lot of those, and then they have secret rooms and stuff, and they give you like the perfect amount of information to find those secret rooms sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll come across a dead end and you're like, oh, what's that over there? And then you kind of backtrack and then you can find it. And that's a really cool way of doing it. That type of stuff is not in these games usually at all. You know?
No, not in the Game Boy for sure. I mean, even the best 8-bit games in the NES were not that smart, you know?
No, and it's not like shoot 'em up style like this, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, okay, we slightly cell shaded like this crop of rocks, a different like hue, which isn't a big hint on the Game Boy, but it's enough to be like, all right, I played games before, so I can figure this out. And yeah, I just like, it gets so funny to me, like when you get to that halfway point, and it's just like, there's a giant crab alien now that I'm stuck in a room with. Like, what is going on here? And then that whole, I love the whole aesthetic too of, I think, is it Alien Syndrome does this as well on 8-bit hardware, where when you get to the boss fight, they just don't render because they need the power to like render the boss. They just don't render anything. So you're on a black plane and all the power of the hardware is going into like making a giant tank or like a dragon with a pivoting head. And it's a little jarring, but it's also like super smart to have like a kind of epic boss fight on like hardware that shouldn't allow it.
Yeah. There is some of the, you know, when you're sitting in a car and you see another car back up and you feel like you're the one moving and not them sometimes. Yes. Like that's kind of what this feels like.
Yes.
Battling this guy.
Yeah, for sure. Like when you get that weird scroll in like a void of space, it is odd. But it makes so much sense to like make the boss the centerpiece. I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than like some of the pit deaths and like bullshit later on, but like I also get why they did that because every game of that era did it. And this thing is a very short game. It's perfect for on the go. And it's not overly challenging, right? This isn't like a Contra get good situation. I mean, you need to be good and memorize patterns, but if you're competent, there's enough life replenishments and like bonus weapons, whether it's grenades or flamethrowers, to offset, you know, a screw up here or there. So
and they space out the rooms well enough that you're
not always in
have
combat.
A good variety,
right? Yep. Yeah, for sure. I kind of can't believe that this doesn't get talked about more, or that it wasn't on my radar. Especially because I was like such a big Game Boy fan as a kid, but I probably would have shied away from Jalico if I saw it on the label. So,
well, that's the other funny part about this is it's one of those classic situations where the cover looks like Contra muscle Rambo guy, and then you get into it and it's anime dude.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I did like the random like cave section too. That's just like inexplicably has bats in some of the rooms for like doesn't fit any context of anything. Just bats.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Super impressed with it. What do you think you'd give it as far as like a buy rent burn?
Yeah, I mean, this is I was taken aback for how much I enjoyed this game. So it's definitely a buy for me. And yeah, it's especially if I mean, it's an hour, if that, to get
Right.
through it. So play through it.
Yeah. 4 levels of fun. I agree. I mean, based on everything I've said leading up to this, obviously it's a buy for me. I'm always pleasantly surprised when you find like a really good, surprising Game Boy game after all these years. And this is a solid one. I wish I'd have had it in my arsenal as a kid.
Yep.
It really plays to its strengths and software limitations well. So it feels like the game you would have borrowed to a friend because you beat it a million times and then never gotten it back. That's what it feels like.
Yep. Well, I'm glad I played it on a Switch too, because I could see how maybe on a pea green Game Boy,
Yeah. There would be some blurring.
the graphics
for sure.
wash out and pretty bad on this.
Yeah, those secret rooms probably would have been a little bit more secret.
Yep.
At least none of them were. I don't think there was a secret room that was ever consequential in the sense of like needing a key out of it or anything. It was always like extra life and stuff, which is smart. So
there was one way that became the path, but it was
there?
I think that was in the 4th level,
Okay.
and then it was pretty much. It does a really good way of telegraphing
Sure.
that you're supposed to be over there, and you can figure it out. So
Okay, I probably didn't get that one. I only made it to the second screen of the 4th level when it had like that pitch black room with 3 paths. I was like, I'm sure I could keep dicking around and figure this out, but I'm just gonna stop it here. So.
yeah, that's yeah. I appreciate those in some way, in some context, but those got annoying in that 4th one a little bit. But
yeah, right up front. But I suppose that completes another one for us.
it is. You can reach us at weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. Definitely try out Fortified Zone. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Probably the best Jalico game that I've played, maybe.
For sure, on the Game Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then, the Patreon for Geekade. Definitely check them out. We have a movie podcast on there. And there's a lot of other podcasts that you get early access to or straight up exclusives. So definitely check that out. And then till next time, be kind, rewind.
Bananas.